Friends, enemies, and those still under review. Welcome back, this is Jack. Alright, I'm going to stall for a second or two, mostly because I can. And not to mention, some people who only follow me on this channel might want to know some things that are going on in my life. One of the short things is, I started a new skincare routine, which is really good, because I got a really greasy nose normally, and it's not right now, and I'm pretty happy about that, so. Or it's not anymore, I should say, so. Yay, taking care of yourself, all that good stuff. And the only thing is, if you look in the, I'm trying to make sure you guys can see a good angle on it. If you look under my eyes, you'll see I have really big bags under my eyes, and I'm actually really self-conscious about those, I'm going to be honest, so feel free to shit talk me in the comments or whatever down below. But hopefully that takes care of it. That's why you see me wear my glasses more often, because it covers it. So. But anyway. Sorry, I think I stalled long enough. So I originally wasn't going to stream today, at least not on Coffee Over Gaming. I have got my Jack Daedalus channel, which I stream. I game, buy about, talk about whatever's going on here. I just talk geek stuff. I wasn't originally going to. A new anime came out. I forgot was coming out, and originally, I didn't know if I was going to even look into it. But I'm all my other animes, they've had their last episode, and y'all know how I feel about how Villainous went. So that's kind of a big deal. I was really upset with the ending of that. So that was the last stream I did on here. It was like a 5-minute stream just to me bitch about it. But this one has me hope of a good anime. I'm going to pull up, I got to pull up I forgot to pull it up, because I'm an idiot. Do I want to show you all that? No, okay. I'll show you all just the other half of it. Let's see here. Why did I not have this up already? Now I feel like a loser. Loser! You're a loser! The first episode came out today, so you're not missing anything. It's headhunted to another world from Salaryman to Big Four, and I was ready to be all right, this is gonna be stupid, and it won me over in the first episode. Legitimately, the main character is very relatable. I like the main character. He's very relatable. If you've worked in the general workforce and been underappreciated for your job, you get the feeling immediately. And he's not summoned with superpowers or anything like that. He's a normal man, has no super special powers. He just has his experience working as middle management that he brings to the table, and it's apparently super helpful. Only one episode's out right now, and I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and some of the humor in it. I'm going to spoil this one because it's in the first 5 minutes of the episode, not even that, maybe first 3 minutes. So each of the Elite Four, which is the big generals of the Demon Lord's army, have a title that's associated with an element. So you have the Inferno Assailant or something like that. That's the redheaded chick you can vaguely see. He is of water. He's the general of water. His title, the Overseas Manager. I love that wordplay. I enjoyed that far more than I should, and I don't apologize for it. So if you're looking for an anime to kind of dig into, go ahead and watch this one. I don't know if this is going to be one of those animes you can watch episode to episode, as they're coming out, or should you wait for it to finish. But this is definitely on the you should watch list. I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. That makes me really happy. That there is at least one anime that... Anyway. It's the new year, and a lot of people are starting to do fitness stuff. Or hopefully y'all are doing fitness stuff, trying to create the ideal version of yourself, whatever that may be. Me, I've gotten back into doing my walking. I've been lifting. I've not been lifting as much as I should, but but I've been doing my walking. That's probably where I'm going to burn most of my calories, because I don't like how fat I am. So with that part said, I got tired of always listening to the same music over and over again. So I started actually, picked up Audible. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. And I found some light novels that I wanted to listen to. I was going to originally do Realist Hero, something I've already seen the anime of and I wanted to get ahead of. Maybe actually just listen to, because I read Slime, or that time I got reincarnated as Slime. And then this one popped up on the list. And after having watched Villainous That Will Go Down in History, I'm I need one to scratch the itch that one's screwed up. So this is the one I've been listening to. I'm not finished with the first book. The condemned villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain. It follows a lot of the same principles, but is a bit darker, and I feel is mo better. It starts with, I'm going to tell you all the first chapter, because it's just the setup, and plus the description pretty much covers it. Claudia was like this not very popular noble, but she was betrothed, semi betrothed to the prince and the future king. And it opens with her being exiled. Like she's kicked out of her family, and is going to be sent to a nunnery. And she's called off her marriage to the prince and all this other stuff, and all because her stepsister basically framed her for a lot of things. Because her stepsister plays up the sweet and innocent act, but you kind of reveal like when she's being sent away, hey, Trickster, that she's actually not that person at all. And when as her she's being taken to the nunnery gets or the carriage gets hit by bandits, and she gets sold into a brothel. So she ends up being a sex worker. And during her time there, she learns a lot of the mistakes she made and like how to properly handle herself in like political intrigue situations. And after her closest friend in the brothel dies, she gets sick and dies herself because she had an emotional breakdown over the death of her friend, and she resurrects like 10 years before, and and then she starts like doing a new life where she's readdressing all the things she did wrong, and she's like, I'm a villainess, I'm going to be willing, but and it's of course following the same theme of her being a villainess but actually doing a lot of good in the world. Happy New Year, Trickster. So if you're going to start like doing walks or working out and stuff like that, and you want to listen to like light novels, and you enjoy like this is a very specific thing, and you or you just want something to listen to, the condemned villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain. There's at least 3 volumes to it, and it's like the first one's like 8 hours. I've only listened to two because I only listen to it when I'm walking, and this is a fairly recent thing I started doing. So do recommend this one. You don't have to do Audible. You can see about finding it somewhere else. Whatever. This is where I picked it up at. And no, I don't. I don't think I have an affiliate code with them. I only think I know I have one for Epic, but I don't think I ever bring it up. Epic asked me once, and I was like, all right, yeah, I do. All right. I think this is the last news story I wanted to cover because like I'm streaming later today on my Jack Daedalus channel. I'm debating if I want to move my stream time on those channels to I'll pull that one up for stream. If I want to stream my Jack Daedalus stream channels to 5 p.m. my time, which is Pacific Standard Time, Trickster would be your time would be 8 p.m. Because I feel like a more evening stream might be more better because that gives me more time in the day to either wake up because I slept late or get my workouts in and then stream. Um, anyway, the one Trickster just recommended, let's pull that up. See if if you're recommending it, I'm assuming it's on here because reasons. Um, all right, here we go. I don't know if this is the first one in the series. Yeah, it's the first one. This is the one that Trickster. If y'all are watching this later, Trickster in the audience. He's a regular. He's usually spot on with stuff. Reborn as a space mercenary, I woke up piloting the strongest starship. He's talked to me about this before. When I can't say that name is swept away from his ordinary life into a world of his favorite video game, a universe of space battles, interstellar colonies, and danger in the vastness of space awaits. Soon he's living as Hiro, the mercenary, with a tricked-out spaceship and a babe on each arm. These are the space pirates to fight, girls to rescue, and trouble to get into, and hopefully out of trouble. My cat almost busted his ass jumping on my computer. Hiro is going to live his new life to the fullest. I already am interested in it purely because how many isekais do you know have like a sci-fi side to it? Technically, Realist Hero is a sci-fi, not a fantasy, but I'm not going to get into that. That's a spoiler. And I do know Arfuente has a second arc or a second story to it where it is sci-fi. Him and the guy who calls himself a hero get isekai to a sci-fi world. So, um, this is off topic. Before I go into the last rant I wanted to go into before I call it, because it just like in the light novels it had jobless reincarnation, which I actually do like jobless reincarnation. It actually might be one who gets added to my list. I hate his pervy side. As I've said before, it's a good anime slash manga slash light novel if you can get past his obsessive pervy side, because that stuff does bother me. Now, with that part being said, that's actually pretty cool. For those who are not reading chat, the audiobook of Arfuente has the English voice actor of the anime narrating, which he does a good job. Actually, something happened in the last episode that I thought was funny as hell. I'll bring that up in a second. I was watching I was watching a scene. Like I saw it on YouTube, and then I had to bring it up. I actually think I sent it to Trickster because I think it was like the best comment about a specific scene. Where the fuck is it? How like I mean you talk so much on here. I don't remember how. Open link in new chat. All right. So this was so the scene in question is in second season. I think it's second season. He's finally going to the Magic College, and he just beat the crap out of like the two Beast people who were like being bullies. And this is the comment. Percena, or however you say your name. You are stronger than me and have defeated me in combat. By Beast People law, you are my mate, and we may now marry. And then Rudy, that's stupid. Although my childhood with Eris is starting to make a lot more sense now. If you know his relationship with her, like, yeah, that makes sense. Because, like, remember, she grew up around Beast People. Ghislaine being, like, her close, like, the person she respects and likes the most. Almost every servant and maid was a Beast person because their branch of the Grey Rats apparently really liked Beast People. And and not to mention, like, her brash screaming side. Like, that's 100% her grandfather. You're like, yeah, that's where it came from. Hell, even when like her grandfather says you need to ask him properly, she does like the cat thing. And you're like, God damn it! So it's like, yeah, that makes sense as a character. Yeah, calling her a furry, she'd consider it a compliment. There's actually a funny story about the furry community. I think I might talk about it. Technically, like it's somewhat tied to politics because it's tied to Elon Musk, and I might have to bring it up. Just and my shoehorn it into like geek culture is it's tied to Twitter. No, because it's tied to Elon Musk, who's tied to Twitter. So that's how I'm going to shoehorn it into uh, geek stuff. Um, but no, like I really like that's something I enjoyed. It was like such a great comment. And once again, I do like the anime. There's just episodes I have to thumb by because like the super perviness, like when he's wearing panties on his head to mask his identity. It's like, and then like the whole time he's staring at the woman's chest. Like, fuck off! I hate that. Like I get a character having a pervy streak. I get it, but I don't like it. I really don't. I'm really waiting for them to. I don't know if you know this part where Rudy starts working with Orsted. Not Orsted. Yeah, no, it's Orsted. The guy who kicked his ass before. Like, I'm really interested when that part comes up. Like, when they start animating it, because, like, he's an intriguing character. Like, I know the story behind him. And don't forget, there's also a sequel series just started. It's Jobless Reincarnation 2 takes place, like, 80 years in the future. I think Rudy's dead by this point. Because the author said, like, none of the characters of the original series will be in it. Are you talking about as the writer? Anyway, not important. Anyway, so here, let me pull up the thing. I sent it to my sister, my older sibling. That's beep, beep, beep. All right. As I said before, I don't know if this is true or not. And the people who are reporting on it are called Surf Times, which is a very left-leaning politics channel. Which, whatever, that's fine. But here's what they're reporting. Elon tried to be a baby fur, which is a specific part of the furry community where it's not just you being a furry, it's you doing the baby play side. And they go into like interviews and conversations people had saying that he tried to join the community like a decade ago or something like that and got chased away because they just didn't like him. And like, no, I'm not kink shaming or anything like that, but I find that hilarious. I find that hilarious. Um, you're talking about not only is like because the furry culture, especially like 10 years ago or whatever, is like a outside like a very isolated group, like a pushed away group. They're not like it's like people who like feet. You're like so you have that, but then you have the baby fur side, which is the even smaller segment of a small segment, and he wanted to be a part of that community, and they said, "No, you're too weird for us." So sorry if that's like some people didn't like that, like me talking about that, but it's just too funny for me. I had to show you all that. All right, and then I had one last story I was gonna do, and then I'm gonna stop the stream there and do Stu. Wait, what is this? Oh, I think I ranted about this earlier. I ranted it on my other channel. I'm going to rant about it here because it's geek related. So we actually have two more stories. I'll get an extra story, one more than I planned. No, I fucked up. All right, here's the first one. All right, so I don't know everything about Warhammer 40K. I'll tell you all that right now. I just don't. I just don't know everything about Warhammer 40K. There's like a new book that comes out every month, and it's just a vast lore. I think I know a decent amount, like enough to like manage my way through, but I don't know everything. And I do know that within the community there are two things worth mentioning. One, it has a Nazi problem. Like legitimately, there have been reports of like openly neo-Nazi groups who like go to the conventions and stuff like that, and it's not like they're doing it ironically because there is a lot of mockery of fascism within Warhammer. Um, so I know that's a thing, but I also know that there is some very just hateful people. Like I'm gonna leave it at that. Like hateful people, and I know they had some issue with there was Warhammer 40K Games Works came out and said two things, or they did one thing, said another. They said it is possible for a woman to be a space marine. In fact, they said there probably is female space marines. They just haven't shown them or anything like that. And the other one is they showed a female custodes. Like, okay, I don't care. I really don't. Like, I'm not a part of the Warhammer 40K community. I just don't care. Cool. Like, my issue would come in is if you had like the Battle Sisters had a guy, but that's because the premise to them is Battle Sisters. Like that's a specific group. It's now, mind you, if they said the character was trans and was in the Battle Sisters, actually, I'd be cool with that. I don't care. I just don't care. Here's where the issue comes in at. You have that type of people who are doing this. The original picture he did is in the top left up here, and it was basically him joking about the like when the woke people get done with Warhammer 40K, and looks like it's supposed to be a space marine who's super overweight, female, and of course they made them black to make it even more hateful, because with what does all space marines have to be white, pasty skin? Fuck off. And then they have like rainbow colors and stuff like that, and they're like, this is what they're going to turn into. And then of course they do another one where a specific character, Sister Kalidia, whatever her name is, kicks her out of the wheelchair. Several things are wrong with that. One, I know within Space Marine or Warhammer 40K lore, if say that was a Space Marine, a Battle Sister would not fucking touch a Space Marine. That is goddamn bullshit right the hell there. Stop getting sick. They would not, because they're viewed as the Emperor's angels, and the Battle Sisters are nuns. They would actually be more respectful and worship that character by default. So, fucking horseshit right there. And then two, you find it entertaining at the idea of kicking somebody out of their wheelchair, even in a fictional setting, even in the weird way you've set it up. What the hell is wrong with you? Go to hell. You're not a good person. Not in the slightest. I will give you credit. You're good at artwork. I can't draw like that. That's much better than I can do. But fuck off. Sorry, it's a lot more hateful than I like to be. It's just one of my things that annoy the hell out of me. You have these people, like I've said this before. If you do a review and you use the word woke at any point, in your explanation, I already don't like you. I'm not going to listen to you. I don't care if you're praising the game I like. I don't care. It's not the fan art. It's what the meaning behind it is. And speaking of fan art, let's get into that. So there's a really fucked up trend I don't like. And one of them is from a studio I actually like, which is stupid. There have been two separate occasions I've seen this. There's probably more, where you have these fan groups who go, I'm going to create a better ending of blah. And I actually disagree. Like, I don't like the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's one of them. I actually refuse to usually talk about that anime because of how pissed off I am at them. Not because of the ending, but because they copyright strike me. And there is a group who is making a an alternate ending. Like if you're just doing it as like, hey, this is a fan story, it's an alternate. No, they're like, I'm fixing it. Using that term that way annoys the hell out of me. And another one is I've talked about these guys before because they were doing it with Berserk. They were doing like redoing the animation, like making a new version of like the Black Swordsman arc, which would have been cool. They're not like rewriting it; they're just doing it. And then you have this where they are Studio Clips, same people who are doing the Berserk thing, are making an alternate ending. And in their announcement, I saw it. I may have been reading it wrong. They said they're fixing the ending of Attack on Titan. Like, go to hell. That's insulting to the content creator. That's insulting to the creator. It like to me, it's on the same level as when you see like a character get released. Like we'll say it's a female character who gets released, and she doesn't look like a porn star, so they make her look like one. There, I fixed your character because they did that to Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, no, go to hell. Like, it just annoys me. It's just like going in. Like I try not to be this way when I'm on this channel. I try to be more upbeat and stuff, but like it's just getting annoying seeing people do that kind of stuff. Like you're being disrespectful to the content creator. Anyway, those are the stories I wanted to talk about. I really got nothing else. There's like some vague news about Nintendo releasing news about the Switch 2 in like 3 months. Like that's the vague timeline I heard. We got a few other things. Hopefully, I'll actually have. I'll be able to get into the network test for Elden Ring Night Rain, so I can talk about that. I would fucking love it. Excited about that. People are throwing a pissy fit about Witcher 4, the fact that the main character is what's her face. I say that like I'm not going to be playing Witcher 4. Go watch Grace of Gods season 2. That was a good anime. What Trickster's talking about is an anime called Grace of Gods, and it's a really good like, it's a really good sweet anime. There, like, I can't think of any scenes that make you really sad. It's legitimately just a good wholesome anime. The character is isekai. Like if you actually knew his backstory, it becomes depressing. But the character's isekai. He base and like he's OP as hell. But the point is him not being like a super combatant. I'm gonna spoil one detail. He opens up a laundromat. That's all he does. Like yeah, he can fight and he gets in some fights, but that's not the point of the character. And it's just legitimately him just helping people. And it's really good. I enjoy those kind of animes where it's just a character helping somebody out. So By the Grace of Gods is pretty good. So I do recommend that one. There's actually a couple of other animes that I'm keeping an eye on. I'll cover those in another stream, not this one. This was just a stream because I watched that one anime and I'm like, I gotta talk about this one. Oh yeah. Appreciate everybody being here. If you're watching this later or you're watching it now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You'll know the next time I go live or release a video. Some of you have been watch the that D&D video I dropped. I'm really glad to see that because I wasn't expecting any support from it. Oh, I actually do got one thing I want to cover real fast. This is not important. This is like a random project I'm working on. Actually, I think I've got it on this computer, so I don't have to do anything special. Y'all gonna get a taste of what I'm semi working on. It looks like shit right now because I'm just doing like a basic line art, like a super basic line art, but enough to get the concept across. So, the challenge I gave myself is I want to see if I can make a manga slash web novel slash whatever told entirely from the first person view because I don't think I've ever seen a manga or an anime or like that who's always just done it from the first person. It doesn't go to third person at any point or omniscient. It's always from his perspective alone, and that's what this is right here. This is the start of the fight. Like once again, really badly drawn. I also did it at low frame, so you see how choppy the lines are. But I'm not going to give you the premise to the story unless y'all really want to hear, but check it out. But it's posed like some interesting challenge. I'm like, how do I present this story in a way that works? What I figured out was this right here. This is internal dialogue. Everything about this fight was wrong. His grip, focusing on the individual things he's noticing, like zooming in on them individually so that like the reader understands what he's talking about. And then you have to break up his individual actions a lot more. So like when he's moving into attack, it's not just there, attack, and he's after. No, it's you have to show from his perspective him closing in on his target and how his target's reacting. And that's something I never expected to have to do. and it's really interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. By the way, his eyes do look weird. There's a reason. It's a racial trait. Um, he's a fantasy creature. I created called Arachni. They are various forms of arachnids. Spiders being the most prominent. There's a scorpion type, and then there's a tick type. Say that 5 times fast. And he's a scorpionkin, but he can't change his form into a scorpionkin form. He's stuck in his human form. Because I gave the race the unique ability that they can shift between their true form, which is very like it has like a human side to it, like in shape, like its upper torso, similar to a centaur. But for the most part, they don't. They have like chitin armor all over their body and stuff. Then they have one where they look more like a Drider, where they still have the lower half of whatever their race is, and then their top half is more human-like. And then they have their complete human form, but no, they can't hide it. Everyone immediately looks at them and knows immediately what they are, not because of their eyes, although that's part of it. It's just a sense that goes off. That's true. If Rudy had a nickel for every time he thought Sylphet was a guy, he'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's odd that it happened twice. Mind you, in his defense, one of those times he didn't know it was Sylphie because, like, oh, that can't be Sylphie. She's got green hair. And Fitz had white hair. Well, it should have been a telltale that she could do silent casting because I was like, he's only met one other person who can. Well, he's only met one other person other than Sylphet who can do silent casting, and that's Orsted. Because Orsted can also do silent casting. Although I don't know if he does that. Anyway, that's what I got. I hope if I actually finish through with this project, y'all actually take a look into it and hope you enjoy it. Well, even like obvious, well, Sylphet slash Fitz is very very gender neutral, so like I can kind of get it. Like they're very androgynous. Like even after she, like even while she's pregnant, like she still was relatively androgynous, just had a big belly. So like I get it. And the weird thing, like this is just weird lore within the Grey Rats. Like in the Grey Rats, like their family historically enjoyed really curvy women. 2 of his 3 wives are not curvy, and that's freaking hilarious to me. So like he's like, yeah, you know that tradition our family has. I'm gonna ignore it. And hell, the only reason one of them is probably curvy is because she's also a Grey Rat, and technically that's not one of his wives. That's his husband. Like it makes more sense if y'all actually follow the comic book slash manga slash whatever. Appreciate y'all. See y'all in the next one.